Matt. All right, so we are going to bring this board meeting to order on this Wednesday, December 15th, 2021 at 6:04 p.m. with a roll call, please.
Colleen Klimczak.
Present.
Claudia Parker. Present. Tim Leonard, yes. Judy Mason.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Michael Onmiller.
Present.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
All accounted for.
Excellent. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I think this is the most recent agenda update, right? We've gotten so many updates. Thank you, Sonia, for paying attention to all of those things that have been coming in even today. So if we can take a moment and take a peek at that, and then I will ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented at our tables.
First.
Thank you, Denise. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. And a roll call, please.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Michael Onmiller.
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Judy Mason.
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker.
Yes.
Colleen Klimczak.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Excellent, thank you very much. And I will pass the baton right over to Dr. Woodland.
Great. So tonight we are going to start with the fun stuff and celebrate the holidays. And we have two lovely individuals here today who submitted for the holiday card design winners. And we have a winner for the front of the card and the back of the card. So we had several participants, so I want to say thank you for everyone who did submit your holiday cards. And the first individual that I'm going to call up is Emma Torres. She's in 4th grade from Northwest. All together in the near future, but this is Emma's lovely little card. Would you like to tell us what's on here?
I was thinking about things because I've done it in the past a lot, and so I really want to do something that I win. So I thought like of a funny holiday pun. Instead of no, I did snow because it sounded close to that.
I love that, Emma. So you did a fabulous job, and I'm going to read it for everyone. There's no place like home for the holidays.
Yeah.
So fabulous job, Emma. So if you want to hold yours, I'm going to feature that in the picture. And then in the back of the card, we have Miss Ava Chandler. She's just the finest artist ever. So Miss Ava, do you want to come up here? And you can take a minute. So what did you put on the back on your picture?
Believe in the education.
Believe in education. That just makes all the sense, right? And I fully believe in public education. So it really spoke to me. So thank you so much, Ava. And we will take a picture. And I believe that they'll be sent out in the very near future. Right, Sonia? Yes. Yes, thank you. And Sonia was a great help to us.
You're the stars of the show.
You are the stars.
You guys come up and we'll come around.
Hey, Sonia,
Denise
do
is,
you want to
because
take
she's
the
festive.
Yes.
Okay, we gotta get Denise.
Down the other end with some
You're very
festivities.
festive, absolutely.
There you go. Oh, there you go. He'll do it for us. Excellent.
Mom and Dad get
Oh,
pictures,
come
of
on,
course.
make room for Leonard.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3.
Excellent.
I can't wait to get my card. They are so
Congratulations.
well done. Thank you so much, both of you.
She's also the winner. Did you give her the other shirts?
Oh, yes.
So,
Then you told me you had those.
yes, I brought them in.
Where were they? I just saw them up
I just saw them.
Oh, Kelly's
Yeah.
giving them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I just saw them.
I'm like, I know that they're.
Alright, congratulations again.
You have quite an artist in the
Yes, you
family
do.
over there. She has quite a talent. She also won the foundation, hers was the pancakes, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
front
so
of the
anyone-
t-shirts,
yeah, the
yes,
front
that's
of
what
the
I thought,
t-shirt.
great.
Quite a talent she has.
Does.
Nice.
All right, so our next update is quite exciting. And as the Board of Education and Superintendent team, we have landed on our facilitator for our strategic planning process. So please feel free to contribute. We are going to move forward with Dr. Courtney Orzel. She is currently an IASA associate professor of professional development and will begin the process of facilitation through the strategic planning. In the very near future, I will be sending out information to our community and to our staff in terms of participation to ensure that your voice is heard and contributed to in the process. As a board and superintendent team, we value the opinions of our community members and we value the opinions of our staff, and we look forward to our strategic planning process. Our first solidified date is actually February 2nd.
Yes.
So it is
Choo-choo.
right around the corner. So I'm excited to get started and determine specific goals to support in moving the organization forward. Any thoughts, feedback?
You don't understand how excited we are. Okay, I don't wanna speak for anybody else. We should have been doing strategic plan. Oh yeah, and then COVID. That's the answer to so many, it's the end of every sentence, right?
Yeah.
So, we know we need to, and we've really been excited to do so. And now I really feel like we have the opportunity to do that. It is a long time coming, and I'm just really looking forward to hearing from our community and making our plan for the next 3 years to be even better than we are now, which is pretty darn good too. So, yeah, I'm so excited.
so excited.
I'm
I
so
agree.
I know that sounds crazy, but we really, really are. And meeting our facilitator the last time we were, she was just phenomenal. So it's gonna be awesome.
It will be great.
Yes. So thank you.
So be on the lookout for information on how to sign up if you are interested in participating in committee work. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Next, we are on to Mr. Philip Abraham, and he is going to share some current recruitment practices since his start date. And as you'll notice on the agenda, there's quite a few additions. This is what happens when you hire an HR director. You get people, which is so exciting. We need people, right?
I was just gonna say, I wanna carry over that excitement for sure. So, happy holidays and thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, but I believe this is like my 25th day here. And, we've been extremely busy, and I wanna take the blame, I wanna thank Sonia for, I'm kind of part of that reason of the constant updates, because there's been just a lot of changes and a lot of movement with new additions and new hires, so which is super exciting. But again, there's just a lot of things that are happening in the mix, so I apologize for that inconvenience. But again, it's a positive thing, so we're moving in the right direction. And just speaking of recruitment, that is one of our biggest focuses. I first want to say and take a step back is I always believed, as when I was back in the day a principal, and for many years, I always felt it was really, really important that you really put a lot of effort into onboarding process. And it's not an orientation, it's a big difference. And the big difference is it's an ongoing process that takes weeks, months, even throughout the year. And I think it's really important that as we move forward that we keep that in mind. This onboarding process is what we really need to do in order to do it well and to be productive and move us forward. And with that being said, I really believe that the district, and with teachers, with paras, parapros, custodians, administrators, they've been awesome with my 25 days here thus far, and really supporting me and making me feel like part of a family, but also with anything that I needed, or any help or assistance, or even if I constantly will be emailing or texting or calling, everyone's been very supportive in helping me out and moving us forward, and including the business office and the central office has been just amazing, but also the building leaders and people that I've met have been outstanding. So that is really what I want to be a part of, and I feel a part of it from day one. So with that needs to really carry over into what I'm doing, but also and a collaborative effort, and that has to happen together. It can't be a one-person show. It's got to be all of us doing this together in a collective way. So I wanted to put that shout out there because, again, everyone's been amazing, and that's exactly what I want us to do. In regards to staff recruitment, there's a lot of things that have been happening when you look at the social media perspective and the way of doing things. Nowadays, that's how people like to be communicated with, is through the social media piece. And the one piece that I found that has been extremely helpful is Handshake. And I'm not sure if you're aware of that platform, but it allows you to connect nationwide to schools, to students, to set up interviews, to do one-on-one chats with potential candidates or applicants, or even just students, and just to do a reach out. So that is a perfect way to provide that outreach for those potential candidates in the near future. But you could also do a variety of different things in order to reach out to them and maybe even have an interview, a one-on-one interview online or in person. It depends on, again, where they are. But you're also able to see each individual candidate and what they have to offer, what their degrees may be, whether they're alum or if they're actual current students and where they're located, what they're majoring in, what their philosophy is, what their background experiences may be. So it's a perfect outreach and way to recruit staff. LinkedIn is another way that you can do it professionally. You can put yourself out there, but you could also use it as a recruitment piece. So that's another way that I've put myself out there on the LinkedIn, added to my network, and also posting positions in that sense as well. Social media, of course, this goes hand in hand with the Handshake with LinkedIn. Networking through IASA, also through IASPA. I became a member. I was a member of that, but now I'm also going to a conference. It is next month, and it's a 2-day conference where it's going to be a lot of networking as well. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap up a whole lot of work in one, so I might talk too much, so you can stop me whenever you want. Staffing needs list. So I did create a staffing needs list that has been provided to Dr. Woodland, but also to the principals. And this is something that I do want to have updated every 2 weeks, just to stay on top of what our needs are, where we're looking at, whether it's parapro, whether it's a certified staff member, a nurse, or whatever it may be, so I can constantly look at it, update it, and see what do I have to do in order to move this forward to recruit, and which direction do I need to go. So that's something that is ongoing and has been very, very helpful. It's just another communication piece with the building leaders. Para-U. So I call this Para-University, and Dr. Newman came up with a great idea. We were kind of brainstorming, just talking, and she mentioned, I mentioned about helping a couple people with licensures recently, and she said, well, why don't we have kind of like a thing for where we can bring in some kind of training or teaching for the keys test for paraprofessionals. And I said, I love that idea. So I said, I would run it. I would be happy to do so. But again, it's something that we can do some outreach with the community and nearby communities in order to say, is anyone interested in this type of position? Here's what it would entail. This gets you into the school, working with our students, and then also kind of give them some training of that, and then show them how it works to get the license for the parapro, and also how to study for it, and then also provide that study for them. So just another way to outreach to the community, but also invest within our community and with our people. So I love the idea, and I want to bring that to a whole different level. So that's something that I would love to do in moving forward. And just another way to recruit, and again, within your community. And candidate contacts, I found, and I kind of knew this would happen, is emails are great, phone calls are great, but texting is even greater. And so I've been with so many candidates and so many applicants, and those that hopefully will be moving forward here in District 124, it's been just ongoing contact with our future candidates. And it's been through a lot of texting, then phone calls, then follow-up emails, so on and so forth. And so in addition to that, I started creating offer letters. And so I've also built a web page for the Human Resources Department. But there's so many people that are tied to the Human Resources Department and have been super helpful. So I look at that as a collective approach. But I'm also building a web page for the Human Resources Department that'll have all of this information in one hub, so it can be used, district-wide. So that's another contact piece that I'm using as well. That you can also utilize that when you are reaching out to candidates. You're providing offer letters. You're doing reference checks, and you have a reference letter on there. So there's a variety of things that I've created and put into this page, and I want to continue to build on it. So that's the staff recruitment piece, a whole lot of the social media aspect to it. I'm gonna move on to the University and College Connect. And so I reached out to 20 local colleges and I just introduced myself, who I am, where I'm from, and that I wanna build this partnership. And I know there may have been some partnerships in the past, but what I wanted to do is reach out to them again, introduce myself, but also build a partnership in the sense of a linked program where we can start bringing more candidates in that are working on clinical hours. And then the link program is you do clinical hours one half of the year, and then you move and roll over with the same teacher, the same school, and build a student-teacher partnership. So I spoke with the principals about this, I believe it was about a week ago, and I really feel that it's critical that the more people that we can bring in through student teaching, it's a natural and organic way to build a partnership, one with the school districts, but also build that organic onboarding process in case we have openings, whether it's for a para-pro or if it's a teacher opening. It's also building from within. So if there are, and I know that we are hiring 2 people that have been in the building as a student teacher last year and this year, and now we're moving them on to another role. So the more that we can do that, you're building this organic process of growing from within and this onboarding process, because we have cooperating teachers that are investing in our student teachers, and the more time they put in, the more they're gonna want them to be successful, and they're gonna feel that they weren't super successful if the student teachers are not moving forward and being successful. So it goes hand in hand, and we help each other out. And again, it's another collaborative approach that we can do in a huge way to recruit. And they feel more of a sense of belongingness. And so the more you feel like you belong somewhere and you're a part of something, the more you want to stay. The less you want to go and kind of dip into other different areas. You feel more comfortable in that sense. And then we grow from within. So that's something that I really want to move forward and push forward. And I've already met with National Lewis and Northeastern. And Northeastern is the second largest education school in Illinois versus ISU. And right now they have 160 candidates that are available right now that are December graduates. So I've talked to 2 already, so I'm taking that as a small victory. And they got the email on, what is today? Today's Wednesday, they got the email on Monday. So that's a huge success in my opinion, and I'm hopeful that the more I do this outreach, the more that we're gonna be successful in bringing more candidates within our building, within all of our buildings. So that's very exciting, and I know the principals are on board. And right now we have, it's 7 or 8 student teachers coming in the spring. I'd love to bring a couple more, even though it's kind of late, but if we could, I'd love to do that. So that's that piece. Job fairs, that's something I'm going to be attending, and that they're coming up in February and March, but I'd also love to start looking into like how can we provide a job fair. It kind of goes along with that para-pro, para-university, is how can we do some online virtual job fairs and even on-site job fairs, and what would that look like? What would that entail? So that's why I want to go and observe a few, and just to see what it looks like, how they run it, and then I would love to do something like that. So again, that goes hand in hand with that para-U piece as well. So moving on, I know I said a lot of words, but there's a lot happening and a lot of investment in this process. And so what you look at, like, what does this do for us? What does this do for District 124? And the more that we connect and build these partnerships with the community and with local schools and through these other programs, I think it's really critical that we understand that it's supporting all the buildings. And the buildings principals have so much on their plate that they have to do in order to move that school forward. And it goes hand in hand with managing what's happening in the classrooms, managing instructional practices and methods in the classrooms, and so on and so forth, and keeping all the kids safe and doing all that. Then to have to worry about trying to find teachers, trying to find subs is very, very difficult, and putting a lot more on their plate, and can become extremely taxing, not just on the administrators, but also on the teachers, and then also on the subs, because it's a ripple effect. So the more that I can provide this recruitment, I can be supported in moving forward with the recruitment, the more it's gonna be less taxing on everyone involved, and it's gonna, again, build us and make us stronger. So that's number one. That is critical in moving us forward and being stronger each in individual building, and ultimately the umbrella of the district over all the schools. The second piece is, well, I'm gonna move to the third one because it goes hand in hand with branding. The organic onboarding process and growing from within. I think the more that we can provide, again, the more we can get student teachers involved and build those partnerships with these colleges, the more that we can grow from within. And in addition to going with this para-pro university, we're also growing from within, looking for within the community, putting out like what we're looking for, and growing there also will help support our buildings and grow from within and grow from the community too. So it's a collaborative, collective effort. I'll always say that, and that's what I truly believe in. It's a team effort. And with that, that's gonna brand our name. The more people are in our building, not just for a couple times to interview and then they move on and they go into a role, but the more that we partner with the student teaching piece, the more we're branding our name for months. And they're getting to know us. They're putting our name out there. They're talking about, this was a great experience. I worked with so-and-so. So the more we can do that and support one another, the more we're gonna be branding our name in that sense. And then diversifying our candidate pool. Just alone with the handshake, you could reach out to 9 million students nationwide. And this was actually created by students that said, we need more an equitable approach because we don't feel like we're being heard or we're being listened to or we're being acknowledged. And so that was the important piece that I felt like we can diversify our staff as well in the sense of our candidate pool and dig a little bit deeper and find people with different experiences, different backgrounds that mirror our students. And that's really, really important. So this, again, I said a lot within the 25 days I've been here and a lot of the recruitment piece, but it's super exciting. There's a lot of work to be done, but I feel like we're really moving in the right direction, in a very positive direction, and in a collaborative way. So that's what I just wanted to share with you because, again, I feel like it's exciting, and every person that we hire, it's exciting and it's rewarding, and I want to just keep moving us forward and growing within our district.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
You've been busy.
Yes.
Everyone's keeping me
25
busy,
days.
but I much prefer that. I love it. I
And you
love
went
it.
to conference,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you packed a lot in these last few weeks.
But there's been a lot of help and a lot of support, and again, it's a collaborative effort, and that's how we're doing it.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Great job so far.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
My goodness.
Any questions?
Oh no, you were first.
we got it.
Well, you know where to find me if not.
I was
Alright.
showing off your HR department. I'm like, oh, we finally have an HR department.
Yes, yeah.
They said you need artwork. Oh, and Michael got your film room.
What's that?
He got your film room.
Josh, you got it? You're two out of everybody else.
Yeah, only two takers.
Good, I'm glad. All right, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much.
Excellent, thank you.
I think you're definitely applause worthy. That was great. Okay. So, she's reading the agenda. She already knows. She's standing
Yeah,
up
she
and
is
moving
next. We're
forward.
moving on to
So,
Ashley. Dr.
next,
Carlson.
yes.
Sorry.
Thank you. No, you're good. She knows.
Yeah,
She
she
doesn't
knows.
either
All
one of
right.
us. Hi.
Hey. I'm going to be sharing with you tonight about our e-learning plan. So this is kind of, makes me think of and then there was COVID. Kind of the same thing I feel like with e-learning. So back in July of 2019, they passed the Public Act that allowed for school districts to have an e-learning plan, which gave them the opportunity to use these plans in lieu of an emergency day. So these plans had to be board approved, they have to be submitted to the ROE, all of that good stuff, and then COVID hit. So districts began working on these plans, and then those plans kind of dovetailed themselves into remote learning plans, which they are very similar, but e-learning plans have specific requirements. They are supposed to have 5 hours of learning time or activities, but that time does not necessarily have to be synchronous, which is different than those remote learning plans. You do have to account for accommodations for any students with special needs, be it EL or IEPs. They need to be done in collaboration, which we did that. With this plan, we did consult with district leadership. building staff, union leadership, South Cook Regional Office. We also had them take a peek at our plan prior to bringing it to you tonight. So along with our plan, if you wanna go on, Matt, this is kind of the timeline. If we were to decide to use an e-learning day, when at all possible, we would try to notify students and staff of that possibility prior to the end of school the day before. So if we see it as maybe some big snow's coming or a cold spell, we might say, be prepared. It could potentially be an e-learning day. So by 5:30 the next morning on the day of the closure, notification would be communicated out similarly to how we do it now with snow days. So text messages, phone calls, emails, it'll be posted on the website, social media postings, and so on. Teachers will then have until 9 o'clock that morning to get their materials posted to either Google Classroom, Seesaw, depending on the age level of the students. Students will then sign in, they'll submit an attendance form that they are participating in e-learning that day, and then they'll begin working on their day's activities. When they come back to school then, we do recognize that some students might need a grace period in completing any of those tasks, so they'll be given that time whenever necessary. As far as teachers on these days, they'll post a morning message as well as their attendance link into, again, Seesaw, Google Classroom. For middle school, it'll be their advisory Google Classroom is where students will go for those. Teachers will post links. It'll be a combination between assignments, lessons, activities, different things. And then specials teachers and other certified staff that work with students will also post things for them that day. So if a student were to have music on that day, their music teacher would still be posting something for them, so they wouldn't miss out on that. Teachers will provide feedback on the work that's completed, because that will be important. If the students are doing it, the teachers will provide feedback on that, or grades, whatever is necessary. Teachers will have the ability to answer questions, or teachers will be available to answer questions from 9 to 2 during that day. So they will be available if a parent or a child needs to reach out, has a question on whatever it is that they're working on or needs clarifications. Teachers will be available for that. They'll also be able to hold Zoom meetings. So it won't be mandatory, but if teachers want to maybe check in, tell me what you've been working on, we're gonna do a Zoom at 10 o'clock. Join us, they can have that opportunity to do that as well. And then as far as students go, students will complete their work, obviously, that teachers are posting. They are responsible to attend Zoom meetings or any virtual meetings that the teachers might hold. They should reach out whenever they have a question or something that they're not understanding, because their teachers are there and waiting to answer those questions or assist in whatever way they can. And then the e-learning instruction activities and assignments, it's important for students to understand, and parents, that it is supposed to equate to 5 clock hours. I mean, give and take depending on how much that takes, but it's not necessarily just a quick 20-minute thing. This is supposed to be equate to a school day, so it is larger blocks of time. And then some additional things that we made sure to consider that are required to be part of the plan. Students with special needs and will need accommodations based on their individual plans. So teachers will work in conjunction with either those special ed teachers or their EL teachers in order to make sure that all of those things are met. Classified staff, so those that aren't necessarily assigned to students specifically, we want to make sure that it's a productive day for them as well. So they'll be participating in some Infinitec professional development training specific to that day. So this would be not necessarily their mandated trainings that they have that everybody has to complete. These would be some over and above trainings that they'll be able to do to take advantage of that time. And then building secretaries will be on hand to monitor student attendance submissions that will be coming in via the Google Forms. So that is our e-learning plan, kind of in a nutshell. There's some other specific things to make sure to include that we talked about: access to technology. We talked about how we did go over this with our union, some other things that are necessary as part of the submission, but these are kind of the highlights. So, any questions?
Yeah, I just, more of a, I don't know, maybe a statement. Does this now absolve our need to extend the school year for any type of emergency
If
day?
we had an emergency day and we did use e-learning days, then we would not have to add them on in June.
So then when we create our calendar just remains intact.
Consistent, yes.
Yeah, that's
We
correct.
don't have to extend our school year anymore.
Yep.
Which makes teachers really happy.
Yay. The teacher table, yes, they.
Yeah, the only way I would think that this wouldn't be able to be rolled out on a day is like obviously if there's a power outage, right? The whole
Right,
evergreen
right.
parent.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like if there was an experience, it was such a terrible storm that, either
Southwest
the-
quadrant has no power, yeah.
or like, yeah, or
that
the
could happen.
Wi-Fi, like,
Sure.
you know, the towers are down due to like damage or whatever.
Because that one of the specific pieces is that electronically you should be able to communicate somehow with your parent
Oh,
or with
yeah.
your teacher, I'm sorry.
Right.
Right. So
Don't get
that
too
doesn't-
excited, Claudia, cause
Yeah,
there's always a
that's true.
loophole.
We do
I
have
know.
some paper packets that we'll provide to them, or they will have some paper alternatives that they can do if they can't do the electronic.
So we still have the discretion, that's a great point, to call either a snow day or an e-learning day in the event we deem it's appropriate to call a snow day.
Sure.
So it's still situational, however, we've gotten feedback from staff, obviously, that they would prefer the e-learning day, and our kids are so comfortable with it now as well.
Right.
Any questions?
My first thought was, if we had been having this conversation 2 years ago.
I know, right?
We would have been like, oh my gosh, you can't possibly teach a kindergartner from home, like, and now we know, it's not ideal.
Yes.
We all know that. We know all those other things, but it's also not
It's
outside the
Yes.
possibilities anymore.
They're far more used to it now than what they were, for sure.
So yes, if we were having this roll out pre-COVID, if we were having this 2 years ago, we would still probably be dragging our feet. I know in my head, I'd be like, oh, you can't ask a 6-year-old to do this, but now we know we can. And it's hard, and we hope we don't have to, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. But it's really great to know that they won't lose that, educational momentum with days missed for snow days or whatever that might be, so.
Yeah.
Now we know we can, so.
We can do a lot of
We
things
can
that
do
we
a
didn't
lot
know
of things,
before.
we have learned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thanks.
Wow, yeah, that would have been a lot different.
Would have been a lot to.
Oh my gosh, yes, thank you, yes, absolutely.
New trend starting tonight.
Yeah, I like it. And so, Eric,
Now onto the money.
Mr. Grossi.
I believe though we are starting with our audit review
Okay.
tonight.
Or not, Eric, welcome.
Thank you, I get to go first.
Yes, you do, absolutely.
This is an exciting one though, and
Yes,
I
it really
believe those
is.
board members who've been on the board for some time are really
Such good
excited to
news.
see the
Yes.
original results. I'm sure all board members are. It's a huge celebration.
Okay, well, I was just gonna promise to be brief because I'm usually not the most exciting.
We will clap for you then.
Yes, we will clap, we'll clap anyway.
I certainly appreciate you guys having me here this evening. And first and foremost, I wanna extend our gratitude to Eric and his team in the business office for their cooperation as we go through the whole audit process and establishing our relationship with the district. So I'm here tonight to present the results of the audit and the financial report for the period ended June 30th, 2021. And I believe I'll receive a copy of the annual financial report. I will go through a few key parts of the report at a high level, and then I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. The first thing I want to point out is really the primary product of our work, and that is page number 1 in the bound report. It's the only page with our letterhead on it, and it's titled the Independent Auditor's Report. And this pages effectively discuss what our job was to do and what the result was, and that is we conducted the audit, which is a review of the transactions and internal control cycles that produce the information to prepare the report. And the result of that audit was, in our opinion, the financial statements presented are presented fairly in all material respects. So that is what we call an unmodified opinion, also known as a clean audit opinion, and that's the highest level of assurance that we're allowed to give. 2 pages after that, starting effectively on page 4, is the management's discussion and analysis. And I always say this, if you don't read anything else in this report, read that section. It provides a very good overview of how the report is structured, some key financial highlights, a comparison of this year's numbers to last year's numbers, and some narrative explanation of why those numbers have changed. It pretty much tells you most of what you would need to know without reading the rest of the report. Now, of course, I don't want to sell the rest of the report short, so I'm going to point out a couple of, key highlights here as we get into the numbers just a little bit. I'm just going to point out two pages with numbers on it. Page 17, the balance sheet of the funds of the district. And in my opinion, the most important figure on this page is near the lower right corner, and that's total fund balances. So total fund balance of the district as of June 30th sat at just slightly above $8 million to the positive, which is anytime you have positive fund balance, a good position to be in. And in particular, the general fund, which represents most of the operating activities of the district. A majority of that fund balance is what we call unrestricted, which means there's no third parties having a say in the future use of those resources. 2 pages later, the other page with numbers that I wanted to point out just briefly, that's page 19, and this is the income statement for the funds of the district. Essentially what came in, what went out, and what was left over at the end. And again, most important figure on this page, near the lower right corner, net change in fund balance. So the overall fund balance of the district did go up by about $340,000, of which $425,000 represented an increase in the general operating funds. And to cap off the good news, the district did, at least on a preliminary basis, qualify for recognition status, the profile score, which I believe is the first time since 2014.
Oh, so excited,
Yes.
so excited.
Definitely kudos to the district and the business office in particular, and the sound financial management that led to that score. The rest of the report has some fabulous information for analysis, including a large number of notes. Feel free to review them on your own time. If you are short on sleep, they're very useful for that. Toward the back of the report, you also have budget versus actual schedules for each fund. If you wanted to compare where the plan was at the beginning of the year, where you ended up, and what the differences were, as well as a few other statistical tables that offer some additional analysis on how the district did. At this point, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Well, as an auditor, did you find any areas of opportunity that you would like to share with us?
We often do, and we share those in the management letter.
Okay.
And there's always a few items that typically, especially in the first year with the district, we have, there are more general recommendations that we have, in particular, finance or accounting related policies that we like to see and may or may not be in place. And if they're not in place or could use some improvement, we make recommendations to that effect. We also review fund balances in comparison to your fund balance policy and report on whether or not you were, within those parameters and to what degree. So that's the gist of the recommendations that we have.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Certainly.
I like that question. That's a good question.
Yeah, 7 items, that's not bad.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
and-
Eric's studying it in his sleep.
Yes.
Under his pillow.
And like I said, they're typical, I'd say pretty routine recommendations, so nothing I would say that elevates to the level of any major concern.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
No, thank you.
Thanks for being
Yes.
here.
Bedside reading?
Right? Very excited, yes, full fun, recognition, right, okay, yes.
Judy,
Good news.
go for it, girl.
Judy probably will. She likes that kind of stuff.
Alright, good.
Yes, we're here. We're paying attention.
So, statement of expenditures, in the ed fund this month, the main expenditures were salaries and benefits. And then also, we had 3 aero payments that equaled roughly $263,000 for the month. Not one of the 2 payments that we have to pay for the construction project. That'll be paid next month, and that'll be the final payment for that.
Celebration.
Oh, that wasn't even a payment for them yet?
No, not for the project.
Ow.
We made our first payment early on in the
Yes,
fall, and the
yep.
second one will come in January.
How many
And we're
payments do
done.
we make this year?
Just 2,
Just two.
and then we're done, so that'll be next month.
No, you were worried.
Yes.
The transportation fund, the main expenditures this month were 2 larger payments to Richley Vans that totaled roughly $133,000.
How come that went up so much this month?
It's just timing of payments, like last month we got a lot of revenue, we didn't get a lot of revenue this month, so it's just kind of the pattern of the payments. We received 2 payments for evidence-based funding for roughly $280,000, along with a payment from the National School Lunch Program for roughly $90,000.
But that 90,000, that's to compensate us for the free lunches that we're giving away?
Yeah.
So like, will we get that quarterly? Is that how it works? Or is this
It's
for?
throughout the year. We
Okay.
get like 2 a month pretty much.
Oh,
I've been
okay,
noticing.
alright.
Such a great program.
Oh,
So grateful
I
for
hope
it.
they continue that.
So grateful
I
for
know.
it.
They haven't
Right.
said
It should
anything
be
yet,
the
but
case.
hopefully they do.
Yeah, it was around this time last year we knew. I knew we came back from Christmas break or holiday break and we knew
And we knew
that
it already.
lunches would be free next year too.
That's great.
I didn't
Let's
mean
hope
to
they
distract.
continue.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
They passed
Didn't mean to
increasing the
distract, but
federal
it's a good
budget,
thing.
so you know, they should be able to throw it in
Keep
there.
the food, yeah.
The fund balance went down a little bit from last month. This just has to do with timing of payments and revenues. So now I'm gonna present the final levy. Today we will be adopting the 2021 tax levy, including all appropriate resolutions. Please note that since the levy request is less than 5% higher than prior year extension, the district is not required to hold a hearing. Once adopted, I will then be turning in the necessary documents to the Cook County Clerk's office by the December 28th deadline. The amount of levy requested has not changed since last month. The total levy requested is still $22,710,200. Here is the history of CPI. Notice we are working with a CPI of 1.4% for the 2021 calendar year. You will find the breakdown of types of revenue here that the district is projected to receive this fiscal year according to the budget. So you see, a lot are from the real estate taxes. So that's where we get most of our revenue. The levy request combined with the increase in the bond levy will increase taxes to a $200,000 market value home by approximately $63. The property tax relief grant will decrease taxes to a $200,000 market value home by approximately $175. Therefore, the Board of Education approving both the tax levy request and the property tax relief grant will decrease taxes to the $200,000 market value homeowner by approximately $112 for the D124 portion.
Why did you use $200,000 as your mean average? Is that the average cost of a house in Evergreen?
It was just the number.
You just
There was
threw
no
that
like,
out
specific
there?
reason.
Alright.
The application for the property tax relief grant has been filed. The Illinois State Board of Education will be releasing the grant with awards in January. Once awarded, I will bring a resolution to the board to accept the grant and to authorize the county to abate the taxes. This is a requirement in order to receive this grant. The extra money we would receive from the grant does not have an effect on the tax rate of the community. The purpose of the grant is to help the community with tax breaks, and in return, we will get money from the state. The grant money that we would receive from the state is just a part of the state budget.
So now, this grant, is this something that you applied for every year as well?
Can you speak to history as to why we didn't receive it? It's
Yeah.
This is the second one that's came out. The first one, so say it's like $50 million they're gonna award this grant to.
Sure.
And then they have the list of districts based off of a combination of your tax rate, population, and if, like, say, like, the first district was supposed to get $2 million and they didn't apply, then it would just keep shooting down. So it would just shoot down until the $50 million is full, and then, like, after that. So we just missed the cut last time, but the high school didn't.
That's exactly what I remember, Kim. Remember, we missed out.
We
on it.
missed it, but the high school got it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about
And their
that.
savings was approximately at 200,000. I wanna say they had told us like $53 last year, so 112 sounds
Hey,
much
even
better.
better, yeah.
And so, like,
But it's not that we couldn't.
So it's our turn, essentially.
well, they have it, they're gonna get it again.
Oh, okay.
So what is cool is, like, it's added onto the base that was added from the last one too, so it's pretty
So
cool.
between the high school and us, we will be able to rebate.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's good.
And year 3, it increases our revenue, which is obviously something that we look to do in terms of improvement of school and capital projects that we want to accomplish as well.
Could you speak just a little louder? I'm so sorry, I cannot
So
hear you.
within year 3, so we abate the taxes year 1 and year 2. Year 3, it increases our revenue stream. So then the state awards us that funding to then increase our revenue overall as a district.
Wow,
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's a complete win-win.
that's awesome. How exciting.
Revenue in the same sentence.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions about anything?
Thank you.
Great.
That is
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going with it.
Yes,
We're gonna keep
yes, we're
clapping.
gonna keep doing.
Finance never gets clapped.
Maybe it's the holiday spirit.
There you go, we're all feeling festive. So now I need to open the floor for a public hearing for the tax levy. Right? So are there any public comments regarding the tax levy? Okay, so I'm going to now close the floor for the public hearing for the tax levy. Okay, very good. And we are then up to item number 8, which is public comments for the board meeting. I do have a green card, but first I want to read. So our public comments, I have a narrative that I share at every meeting. A few reminders specifically about logistics for public comments portion of every meeting, including this evening, as is posted on our agenda publicly for every meeting, to respect all of our stakeholders, our commenters, our board, our public. We adhere very closely to the 3-minute limit for comments for everyone. We will set a timer and we expect everyone to respect their 3 minutes. In addition, we do not respond to public comments at board meetings, but we absolutely hear them. We respect, we listen to, and we take into account all of the community members' concerns. If there's anything that we need to follow up on or pursue further, if there's specific questions that come up that we can respond to after the meeting, we will do so. So we do have a green card for Kristen McAfee. How did I do? Okay, sorry, something along those lines. So if you want to start your 3 minutes.
Do you bring music?
Yeah.
Okay, we got 3 minutes, but I'm very interested, so okay.
All right, so we'll make it quick. So,
Okay,
so I want to thank you all because 2 months ago I was here, right, and I listened to
right, right, you came in and it was not a this kind of meeting, so yes, please.
Yeah.
And so you all talked about stakeholders, so I wrote to that. So I wrote some books, right, music. So it's called School District #Rocks. So I'm working with school districts. And I also wrote for relatives and working with associations. So I'll play the School District Rocks so you all know. You all ready? So this is
We're ready.
School District 124. Office and only.
Hey, you are tuned
Can y'all hear it?
Hey, you are tuned into the best rock station on the planet. This is Angie with 98.7. This is our school district rocks. Our callers, please tell us your name, where you are calling from, and why your school district rocks.
Oh my God, honey, I can't believe it. I'm actually on the line with Angie. I cannot believe it, honey. Angie, my name is James, and my school district absolutely rocks because...
Caller. Like, I am Angie, and can you hear me, please? Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you, Angie. Honey, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but I think it's about to die and I have bad reception. I can't believe this is happening to me right now at this moment while I'm on the line with Angie. I can't believe it. I'm so nervous. This is crazy. They say 1,000 people a week write letters, call, and stop by the office, and only 10 get chosen. Honey, please grab my charger right away, please. Okay, honey, can you bring it? Okay, Angie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, what's your name?
Yes, Angie. My name is James, and my phone, I'm sorry about the disconnection there. My phone is about to die. I have bad reception.
Alright, so anyway, go through it.
Wait,
I'd love
thank
for you all to approve this for me. I want to bring it into the schools with the kids and share them. So I'm looking to work with a few.
Do you have a business card or some way to, so you did not share other than your phone number? Is that just a good way to contact you?
Yeah, I put my,
And you're here in Evergreen Park?
I got some tickets in Evergreen Park.
Oh, I tickets in Evergreen
Down
Park.
95th.
Okay, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
May I follow up with you?
Sure.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And pronounce your last name for me, please.
McAfee.
I will get it right.
So what did everybody think though?
So you bring this into the classroom into the schools for the kids?
Yeah, so,
30 seconds. I know, I'm breaking my own rule. Okay.
Alright, so it's a book, right? And then it's also the radio. So the point is, so it started with my daughter. I had a conversation with my daughter, and I was like, hey, after being here, I was like, do you know who the superintendent is? She know, Daddy, what's that? Right, so I realized it's a bigger problem, right? So the goal is to make it fun, right?
Okay.
Include the people behind the scenes, right? Like the board,
Great.
right? Assistant superintendent, everybody, right? Where they get it and they can know who the superintendent is, because how can you aspire to be something if you don't even know what it is?
Okay.
Or who's in the position?
Love it.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for sharing your talents tonight with us.
And we will check in.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming back. Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. So any other green cards?
No.
Ms. Thanks. And then board reports. So appropriately,
This will be
you might
super
have a
brief.
meeting tonight, right? So, or how are you doing?
I'm okay. I
Okay.
think
A
we
meeting
might-
tonight?
I know. She may have to excuse herself because they're having a meeting tonight for Arrow, so please tell us.
So it's the second special meeting to approve bid packages. So at last month's meeting, I shared that we had approved the first set of bid packages. And so they were very pleased that they had come in almost $800,000 under what the estimates were. So that was all good news. But then Jenna was at the executive board meeting this morning, and I'm obviously not present at the governing board meeting right now, so Jenna could speak to it better than I could, for sure.
It was really a very quick board meeting in that they were just looking to approve specific bid packages to move forward with their projects, and it was an 11-0 vote. So we are proceeding forward with the first bid package.
Okay.
Presumably, the governing board will vote the
Yeah.
same.
And you said it was a 13-minute
meeting.
Okay.
Wow, that was
He
quick.
does keep them, he keeps them
They are
concise, doesn't he?
efficient.
So,
They're very efficient.
yes, they. Well, thank you for that, and yes, if you need to, so, Kim, there may be a moment where she steps out and we'll note that in the minutes, but otherwise we will just continue on.
Perfect, excellent.
So, thank you. All right, policy committee review, is it?
We didn't have anything this
So
time.
this is just the second reading,
Oh, it's
so
second reading.
that,
Right, okay.
that we presented last time.
Okay. Very good. So district review is next, and myself and Ms. Jones, who's looking very festive, were in attendance for that meeting. As always, it was just really good, it's always good to hear from all 5 buildings in the same room at the same time. There were lots of celebrations, and that may be one of my favorite parts, is just hearing all the good things that people are doing. We had a lot of food drives, there's new people and babies and
It's great.
weddings and all that good stuff. So I always love hearing that, it's really, really great. So there were only 4 issues. One of them was reviewing plans of hiring. So,
Do we need to see it?
right, Phil already answered all of our questions here, and so I was, when I saw you ahead of me on the agenda, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm off the hook. But really, we did have the conversation about some of the things that he was going to be, the meeting for DIRT was the 29th. So you had already been here for a few days by then, not a lot of them, but you already had some great ideas, so we were pleased to be able to share that with the different buildings that were present, so that was really good. So thank you. And you saved everybody from hearing it again. So the first question, the next question was the question of vaccination for our volunteers that are in the buildings. And that was a tough one. Parents want to be involved and we want to be able to encourage that, and there was special secret Santa things going on and holiday things, and but we still have to be as safe as possible. And so that was really, the question was about one-time visitors versus regular visitors versus evening events that are outside of the school day. That most of the families would be together at a table anyway. And so how we might go forward checking on vaccination and making sure to do that with fidelity to keep everybody safe. So
What are we doing about visitors in the building, during the day with students?
for the most part, there aren't a lot of them yet.
So any volunteer that's in the building during the school day will have to submit vaccination status.
And
And
if
that
they are
was-
not vaccinated?
A
If
COVID test,
A
just like.
COVID test.
Yeah.
And that was communicated out quickly after that DIRT meeting.
Does it have to be like 24 hours, or what's the time for the COVID test?
According to the local health department, because I did call and ask, it has to be within a 7-day window.
7 days,
Mhm.
okay.
But we just, we can't risk
Oh, I know.
Oh, no.
So it was,
Oh,
but it was a really good
just wondering
question.
time-wise, that's.
And how can we safely have, parent involvement is so important. So how to do that, and I thought it was a really good question for everybody to ask, especially at that, November into
definitely.
December, so, yeah,
Absolutely.
it was a good conversation. Issue 2 was about, devices. So,
Oh, monitors.
right, so will teachers be able to have their secondary devices back from last year was the question. And so part of that, the explanation was a lot of the things that we had second devices for have been redistributed to some people as their first, because it was newer than people's first. You know what I'm hoping you know what I'm saying. So making sure that everybody has updated things was more important than making sure that everybody has 2 things, right? There's not just a room full of monitors sitting anywhere at this point that have not been redistributed. So obviously we need to consider, there was one thing that came up from Central Middle School. Our teachers have to switch back and forth between class management and instruction on their screens. And so, maybe that's a need, and we need to look at that specifically. That might be more pressing than others. And so getting that, from an equity standpoint, who needs the help the most, right? And so having that be a question might be something to look at. So, and then we'll also be looking at a deep dive on instructional software coming up. So
And
that.
can I interject with that too?
Yes.
Because a while back, we had a technology thrift sale, remember?
Yeah.
So we sold off any old that
Okay.
we weren't gonna use anymore. It was offered to our internal staff,
Okay, yeah.
and we got rid of it quickly, right?
Oh,
We sold
quickly.
out of everything.
Yeah, like within a day or two, like
Yeah,
it's
so,
gone.
No storage.
I propose we do that again.
If we have any extra, I guess.
Yeah, well, cause it's a
Yeah.
great way to, discard what we know was no longer sustainable for our kids' use.
Right.
But it could be easily used as a secondary or primary device for our employees or people in the community.
Yeah.
I just
Nice.
thought I'd throw that in there since we're taking a deep dive of
Since
what
we're
needs to
talking
go.
about it, so it was a good conversation too about needs and what the classroom needs really are and,
Yeah,
and
it
that kind of
aligns
stuff.
to teaching and learning practices as well.
Absolutely. So again, it's very interesting to hear what different buildings and different people have concerns about, and that was really useful as well. Third issue was about teacher evaluation and doing, so the state has passed that teachers can be evaluated every 3 years, and doing that with fidelity and making the evaluation process truly about teacher growth, and having that 3-year cycle for tenured teacher was the outcome, so. And then the fourth.
And we're gonna look to take that to the para committee.
Yes. Yeah, I loved that our teachers were asking about, I loved that.
Yeah.
That was great. And then fourth and last question was about the COVID dashboard, updating weekly. And it's not done at a building level, was part of the question, like are the buildings supposed to be updating it weekly? And we actually, the district, yes, I say we, but I mean you.
It's me.
Yeah, it's you, sorry, but.
Now, Phil.
Yeah, and now Phil,
And now
exactly,
Phil.
so, so that will hopefully be, updated more quickly as well, and, it would be really nice to no longer have to do that someday.
I know.
Someday.
I would love to know that.
Right, and so our next meeting is not until the end of January, but, I'm sure we'll have at least a few things on that.
They did bring up the Christmas party
They did bring up the Christmas party.
Which is going to happen, I see.
Yes.
Thank you, Sonia,
Yeah,
for
thanks,
sending that.
Sonia.
Okay, so January 13th.
Yeah, they said it would be a good time to reconnect for, I guess it's historical, we have a Christmas party after the
But
holidays.
after, yes, not before.
Not
Because
before.
everybody's busy.
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
thought it would be a good time to bring back some
Yes.
holiday cheer, and I thought it was a great idea. So, we'd love to do
Well,
that,
yeah.
Sonia got right on that for me, so thanks, Sonia.
We have karaoke at,
I heard that
Yeah, I
there's
know.
karaoke.
So
We'll see how that goes.
karaoke, Dr. Newman. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm doing it.
My one and only time of singing karaoke was at that party. I'm just saying. Just saying. Very good. So that's my report.
Great.
And then, next is the facilities meeting, which occurred last Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay,
We have some nice visuals, I think, on the next slide.
awesome.
Yeah, so the facilities committee met last week. That was our second meeting of the year, our second formal meeting of the year. And we got a nice work summary put forward to us by Leggett, our architects that we've hired to do all of this work. And we were meeting with district representatives. There was 2 board reps there, myself and Mrs. Mariquin. And there were, most of the building principals were in attendance as well. And they were just sort of outlining the plan for the coming year. We haven't gotten to the budget portion yet, or the bidding process. It's a slog. We gotta do it the right way, gotta be transparent, and it just takes time.
Slog.
It's a slog.
Yes, it is.
But on the agenda is Northeast and Southeast, gonna be getting some nice, very functional updates over the summer, and gonna start the tall order of doing the toilet rooms at Central, which many attest to needing to be done, and I'm inclined
When you say
to believe
toilet room, which room is that?
that's what they called the bathrooms. I think it was just their generic term
They
for
call it toilet rooms.
restrooms.
Which bathrooms are we doing?
So we're still in the process of determining which bathrooms we'll renovate.
Oh my gosh, how could you not know?
I'm just gonna allow Kim to walk the building with you, Jim.
Mr. Swilly.
And we will determine based on need, but there's the potential that we might only do one floor level at a time based on proximity
First floor.
based on proximity of work and what needs to be accomplished.
Oh my God, that bathroom looks the same as when 1983 when I went there. We have to
To
do it.
ensure that the work is done efficiently and that we can still open the building on time,
Okay.
right?
That bathroom is
Get the
horrible.
kids
The boys and the girls on that floor.
Well, and there's a supply and demand issue right now that we're all aware of. And so we wanna make sure we get all the supplies in for the bathrooms
And they're not
Yeah.
stuck
and
in a
that the
port
maintenance can be accomplished.
And Kim, to put you at ease, I know that this week they were scheduling their meetings with the building principals to go over their biggest needs and wants through that process. So I'm sure that Principal Swilly will communicate which bathroom.
I
Feels very passionate about this
Oh,
every time
those
we
two
tour
bathrooms.
Central.
Oh,
I
they
know.
kill me.
You're not
Well,
wrong.
we have a beautiful school. That
We
building is, there are some major attractive, like, great things we've done there.
That's
And
not
Jim
one
and I both have went in those bathrooms in 1983, and he was a little younger than me, but I know he understands the pain, right?
Thank you for that. And
The next slide shows it kind of like a
Right,
little
so they also brought to us a proposed work schedule here just to try and keep
that.
all of the different things that we've got on the agenda in a certain pipeline of when it's going to be occurring and what phase of the process we're gonna be in, which we liked. It's flexible enough that it, won't get blown up by one setback, but it gives us a good sense of the work plan coming forward for the year. So we're looking forward to delivering some really great updates to our buildings for our students this summer.
excited.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Analyst, did you do this slide yourself?
it is very cool.
I'm so proud of you right now. You are totally paired in the right committee. Because I was like, he did this.
I cannot take credit for it. The good people at Leggett brought it along.
Nice.
I liked it, so I asked Dr. Woodland to throw it in.
It shows progress.
It's great.
I do like this. It's very specific and easy to read.
Even if we don't, we can't be knocking down walls in December with a building full of kids, like we just can't. But this is still we are still moving forward with projects, we are still making progress and planning ahead, even though it's December and we can't do it until that bright yellow, in May, June, and July. But yes, the idea that we can still be making the plans, doing the procurement and everything like that now is really exciting.
And we've got a master plan on the agenda as well, which I think is gonna roll in
look
nicely
at
to strategic
this.
planning, but it also
Did you not
kind of
see
give
this
us
one already? I
good
did
blueprint to
not. Was
follow.
this on?
She might
Oh, that might have been the one you had to phone in for. Okay.
Yeah.
More color coding.
This
Yes.
is so pretty.
So this was their engineers had done some walkthroughs on all the buildings and had identified the areas in need using their red, yellow, and green color coding system. And so this could just kind of like got the process started. This was 2 months ago, I think. And so the document you just saw was kind of what's happened next or since then. But this is just to kind of remind us what they assessed as being like our high needs.
Cool.
Great.
So
Thank you, Michael.
Central, red, toilet room.
I know. Well,
Okay.
there's a couple other rooms, Mr.
Just
Swilly,
saying.
I could talk about. We want to get on there.
Are you complete?
I am, thank you.
That was very, very cool. Thank you so much. And it really is, it's
It's
exciting.
very easy to read too.
And big
I
picture,
love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And knowing that we're still making progress even if we can't be painting walls right now with kids in the classroom, so that's
Right.
great. Well, thank you. Okay, so we are moving on to item 10, action items. So first of all, our item A is our consent agenda. that is to first approve monthly transaction reports for November 2021. 2 is to approve fund balance reports for November of 2021. 3 is to approve expenditure report and projected payroll report for December 2021. 4 is to approve board minutes for the regular meeting of November 17th, 2021. 5 is to approve the closed session minutes for from the regular meeting of November 17th, 2021. 6 is to approve board minutes for from the committee of the whole meeting of December 8th, 2021. 8 is to approve, 7 is to approve the closed minutes from the committee of the whole meeting of December 8th, 2021. 8 is to approve destruction of closed session tapes from August of 2017. 9 is to approve our personnel recommendations. We have 7 additions, 1 FMLA, 2 resignations with intent to retire, congratulations, and 3 resignations that are effective either already or as of this evening. So if I could have someone please make a first motion to approve consent agenda A.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Rachel, and a second?
I'll second.
Ooh, okay, Claudia or Judy?
Okay.
Take your pick, there you go.
I can see, sorry.
Concede the consent.
So Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Judy Rayson?
Yes.
Michael Miller?
Okay.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker?
Yes.
And Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Do we have anyone here that's any of our new employees or no?
We do not.
Oh,
No.
We do.
We do?
We do.
Michelle.
I
We have
know.
retirement. I
waving.
know we have a retirement
Miss
here.
Bachelor, we're
But no
sorry.
one here
to see
adding,
you go.
right?
She was at district review as well, and so I
Yes.
saw her in her festive green shirt, so I wanted to say congratulations.
Oh my gosh, how long have you
Gosh,
been with
no.
us, Michelle?
22 years.
22
Congratulations,
years.
that's a clap. Well, we
And
certainly.
can I tell you, I'm gonna frame that picture of her granddaughter. Her granddaughter was the one.
That was her
That was her
granddaughter.
granddaughter.
Oh my God, that picture is awesome. Oh.
It's
It's
awesome.
a picture of the senior and the junior.
Cindy Lou.
Lou.
That was fabulous.
Oh my God.
That was awesome. Well, thank you so much for your service. I've seen you for many years. I did not realize it was 22. Holy cow.
Maybe you'll see me subbing, I can't
She's gonna sub for us.
Nice.
That's
You're
awesome.
not ready to break free just yet.
Nobody ever,
She's like, just don't call me the first month.
Yeah, right. Give me a little time.
I have 60 days.
Oh, 60 days. I know it was 30 or 60. Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Yes. Item B is to approve the second reading and adoption of revised board policy 210 as recommended by the Illinois Association of School Boards. If I could have a first, please.
I'll first.
Thank you, Claudia, and a second.
I'll second.
Kim, and a roll call, please.
All right, Claudia Parker.
Yay.
Kim Leonard, yes. Judy Basin.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin.
yes.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Michael Miller.
Okay.
And Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great. Item C is to approve the second reading and adoption of revised board policies 510 and 530 as recommended by the Board Policy Committee. If I could have a first, please.
First.
Michael, and a second, please.
Second.
Denise, thank you. And a roll call?
Michael Miller.
Yay.
Denise Jones. Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Judy Basin.
Yes.
Claudia Parker.
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Excellent. Item D is to approve our e-learning plan and appreciate all the work that went into it. If I may have a first, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Rachel. And a second?
I'll make the second.
Excellent. Thank you, Kim. And a roll call?
All right, Rachel Merrickwin. Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker.
Yes.
Judy Basin.
Yes.
Michael Miller.
Yay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. And then item E is to approve the fiscal year 22 tax levy. If I could have a first motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Michael. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Claudia. And a roll call, please.
Michael Miller.
Okay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Claudia Parker.
Yeah.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Judy Basin.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
and Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Excellent, thank you so much. So now we will recess to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity, So,
Do you have a first
I'll-
motion?
Yes, I'll make a first motion to recess. And a roll call?
Alright, so Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
Denise Jones. Oh, I'm writing the wrong one, that's okay. I'm talking to myself, Denise Jones. Michael A. Miller. Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Judy Mason.
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker.
Okay.
Motion is passed. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.